I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fixed fire. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
This break is brought to you by Adobe Photoshop. If you're a professional photographer, designer, or artist, you need the tools to go wherever your imagination takes you. Cookie cutter content just doesn't cut it. But you already knew that. What you might not know is that new AI-powered features in Photoshop can help you make complex edits in seconds. And it's easier than ever to collaborate and give feedback, so you can create faster and crush your next deadline. Get started for free. Click or tap the banner to head over to Photoshop.com.
I believe our next guest, Adam Teicher, ESPN.com, he's been coming on radio with us for a long time, so we know you by now. Adam, how are you?
Good. And Bob, if we're talking Chiefs here, shouldn't the musical theme of the week be Taylor Swift?
Well, that could be the musical theme for the season, Taylor Swift, for sure. That all has died down. That all has died down just a little bit. She hasn't been at as many games. She's not seen as often around Kansas City or Arrowhead. She's got her own thing kind of going on. Is that a positive that it's died down a little bit, Adam?
Well, I don't think it's permanently died down. She's been on tour down in South America, so hard to get back and forth to Chiefs games when that's going on. But I see where Matt LaFleur, the Packers coach, said she's going to be at Arrowhead, at Lambeau Field on Sunday night. So
wow.
Maybe it's So I assume that's a good source. I assume he would know what he's talking about. So we'll see. But it sounds like she might be there.
Interesting. Well, the Chiefs are 8-3. They're sitting atop the AFC West. I think they are as legitimate a Super Bowl contender as anyone in the AFC. Yet it feels like the team has slipped, at least some. Has it?
Well, it does feel that way. You just feel like there's a smaller margin for error when you're having trouble scoring points. And that's why I think the win in Las Vegas was such a big deal for the Chiefs. Beating the Raiders is not a huge accomplishment, as we know, but I think the way they did it, busting out of their offensive slump to score 31 points was a big deal, but also coming back from a 14-0 deficit. I mean, this year, if a team got the Chiefs down up until the Raiders game, the game was over. I mean, the Chiefs were having trouble coming back from deficits of any kind of size this year. So I think that was a big deal for them to know they can do that. And that next time they get down double digits, 14 points, whatever it might be, they can come back and win the game. So I do think, I can't tell you their offensive problems are fixed now just because of one game, but I can say that I think they feel better about where their season's headed after Sunday's game.
Adam Teicher, our guest, Chiefs beat writer for ESPN.com. So all eyes will be on this game. It's a Sunday night game on NBC at Lambeau Field, the first time ever for Patrick Mahomes to play in that legendary stadium. How much do you think this means to him? I would imagine that he's pretty amped up to play at Lambeau Field.
Yeah, he's a historian of the game. He appreciates things that have happened in the sport before he came along, and this will be his first chance. Who knows? Maybe it's his only chance to play at Lambeau Field. I agree. He'll be ready to go. I mean, I feel like he's always ready to go. That's not an issue with him. But yeah, he might have a little extra energy on Sunday night for sure.
So I mentioned that the Chiefs are as reliable as anybody. in the AFC to get to the Super Bowl. That's because I just don't see what I deem to be a dominant team. The Chiefs' defense has certainly stepped up this year to become better. As you look, as you peruse the AFC, who do you see as their number one challenger?
Well, I'm assuming Buffalo is not going to make the playoffs. They certainly could. I still would have my eye on them, on that team, if they can make the playoffs. So let's see what happens there. But hey, you don't want to catch Baltimore on a bad day. You don't want to catch Miami on a bad day. I might even throw Jacksonville in there. But I tell you what, the team that I think want to see in the playoffs, and I'm not sure they're even going to get there, but that's the Broncos. They really gave the Chiefs two pretty good games, and really, when the Chiefs had the ball, they looked lost for much of the game both times. So, I just feel like the matchups are there in the Broncos' favor in some cases. So I feel like that's a team that if the Broncos get in the playoffs, Chiefs might like to see them on the other side of the bracket and maybe have somebody else, some other team do their dirty work before the Broncos and Chiefs can meet.
I kind of have that same feeling about the Houston Texans. I know they lost the game to Jacksonville last week. It was a hotly contested game. They have Denver at home this week. I think that game will tell a lot. I think they may be arriving a little earlier at the train station than anybody thought because of their young quarterback, C.J. Stroud. Is that plausible?
Yeah, no, I think that's another team to keep an eye on. I have a hard time thinking that any team with a rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, so many young players that's really in a rebuild, I have a hard time believing they can come into Arrowhead at playoff time and pull off a victory. But so I think in that case at least, and maybe some other teams as well, I think it would take the Chiefs playing their C or D game, just playing down a level or two for that team to come in and beat the Chiefs at playoff time. So that one would, while yes, it certainly bears watching, I don't know that's a team that could come in and win at playoff time at Arrowhead.
Fair enough. I completely get that. Adam Teicher, our guest from ESPN.com. So while the Chiefs are certainly all in on this year, so the window remains wide open. It will remain wide open beyond this year. What are the things the Chiefs need to do? And I think we can all predict what you're going to say. What do they need to do to make sure that they've put themselves in the best position to get to Super Bowls while Patrick Mahomes is still in his prime?
Well, I guess you're maybe asking about wide receiver. Yeah, I mean, certainly they're going to need some help there. Although they're really encouraged by what they've seen from Rashee Rice this year, and particularly lately. They think that maybe he can be a big-time guy, and I'm starting to maybe be inclined to agree with them. But they're going to need some help there. But I just feel like they're going to need to draft as well as they've drafted, and particularly, I mean, you look at how well they've drafted on defense. It's just incredible the amount of players and the amount of depth they've gotten out of the draft, picking low in rounds because of how well they drafted there. You really can. You look at I actually looked at this yesterday. Of the top 16 guys in terms of playing time for the Chiefs on defense this year, only 3 of those guys were signed as free agents. The other 13 were drafted, which is really a remarkable accomplishment, particularly for a team, again, that doesn't draft very high in rounds. So I just feel like just keep on keeping on is what I'm going to tell you there. I don't think they need to do anything specific over the long term. Just keep drafting well. I feel like that's going to be a key as long as they're paying their quarterback as much money as they're going to be paying him. That if they can keep doing this, they're going to have a good team, regardless of where they build, what things they do in the draft, if that makes any sense.
Well, it always does. Adam, we really appreciate you coming on the show. Hopefully you get to spend some time with Taylor Swift up in Green Bay this weekend. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll tell her you said hi, Bob, if I do run into her.
Take care. Have a good weekend.
All right. You bet. You too.
If you're a business owner, you know these sounds mean sales. And from the sound of it, your business is growing. Whether you're fulfilling orders from your home office or warehouse, Stamps.com helps you stress less about mailing and shipping and spend more time doing what you love most. Listening to ASMR. I mean, growing your business. But as you grow, so does the need for efficiency. Stamps.com simplifies your shipping and mailing process. Import orders from wherever you sell online. Find the lowest rates with the fastest delivery times. Instantly deliver tracking updates to your customers. And buy shipping and mailing supplies when you run low. Save time and money on mailing and shipping. Get started at Stamps.com today with code PROGRAM for a 4-week trial, free postage, and a digital scale.